Chavarim, Shalom. I'd like to share with you today again the story I read on Friday, but due to the technical difficulties we had to face, not every one of you was able to hear this wonderful story about blessings and how blessings can give life. There was an officer of the law, a recent graduate, proud as you can imagine in his uniform of blue and brass buttons and gold epaulets. He wore a hat with a plum and a sword with gold and ivory handle. He was as composed as could be. He was arrogant, of course, and bold in colors. Every letter of the alphabet served only to demonstrate his authority and exalted his being. One day he was walking a speed and heard a commotion in an alley. He ventured into the darkness, and there in the distance he saw a man in rags. "Come forward," he commanded. "Come forward now." But the man in rags did not come forward. "I'm an officer of the law, and I command you, come forward." The man in rags did not move. He shifted his weight from one foot to the other and spoke. "I don't know what I'm going to do with you." "Do with me?" the officer of the law mocked. "Do with me? You don't do with me. I do with you. I am an officer of the law, and I command you to come forward." "No, I know what to do with you," the man in rags said, and as he spoke he drew his sword. "Now I know what to do with you." Without further word, he moved to attack the officer. The officer of the law drew his own sword in defense. "Stop that," he ordered. "Put your sword down right now." But the man in rags did not stop. The officer of the law had to parry thrusts left and right. "Stop," he said again, but to no avail. The officer of the law was forced to retreat. When it seemed that the man in rags would prevail, he lowered his guard, and what the officer of the law had intended to as a parry became a thrust. His sword ran through the man in rags. "I didn't mean that," the officer of the law said. "I didn't mean to hurt you. Why didn't you stop when I ordered you to? Why did you attack me?" The man in rags waved the words away. "I'm leaving you," he said, "and as I do, I put upon you the curse of blessings." The curse of blessings? Every day you must say a new blessing, one you have never said before. On the day you do not say a new blessing, on that day you will die. The man in rags closed his eyes. The officer of the law looked about for help. There was none to be found. When he turned back, the man in rags had disappeared. He was gone. It was a dream, the officer of the law thought. Only a dream. I imagined it. The time was late in the afternoon. The sun was setting. As much as the officer of the law tried to ignore his experience, he could not. The day ended with the sunset. The officer of the law felt his body growing cold and knew from the chill that his life was leaving him. In panic, he uttered these few words of blessing. "You are blessed, Eternal One, who has created such a beautiful sunset." And once warmth and life flowed back into him, he realized with both shock and relief the curse had been for real. The next morning he did not delay. He woke up with words of blessing. You are blessed that you allowed me to wake up this morning." His life felt secure the entire day. The next morning, he blessed his ability to rise from his bed. The following day, that he could tie his shoes. Day after day, he found abilities he could bless. That he could go to the bathroom. That he had teeth to brush. That each finger of his hand still worked. That he had toes on his feet and hair on his head. He blessed his clothes, his garment. He blessed his house, the roof, the floor, the furniture, every table and chair. At last he ran out of things to bless. So he began to bless relationships. He blessed his family, his friends, his fellow workers, and those who worked for him. He blessed the mailman and the clerk. And he was surprised to find they appreciated the blessings. His words had power. They drew family and friends closer to him. And word went out that the office of the law was a source of blessing. Years passed and decades. The office of the law had to go farther afield to find new sources of blessing. He blessed city councils and university buildings, scientists and their discoveries. As he traveled through the world, he became in awe of the balance and the beauty and blessed that. The more he learned, the more he had to bless. His life was long and he had the opportunity to learn in every field. He passed the age of 100. Most of his friends were long gone. His time was relegated to searching for the purpose in life and the one source from which all blessing flow. He had long since realized he was not the source of, but only the conduit. And even that realization was welcomed with a blessing that sustained him for yet another day. As he approached the age of 120, he considered that his life was long enough. Even the great saints had not lived longer. On his birthday, he made a conscious decision to utter no new blessing and allow his life to come to an end. Still, he could recite old blessings, and throughout the day he reviewed them, all the blessings for his body and his possessions, for relationships that spread throughout the world, for the awesome beauty and balance of creation, and for the deep resonance, the pulse of purpose that pervaded his very being. But no new blessing passed his lips. As the sun was setting, a chill progressed inward from his extremities. He did not resist it. In the twilight, a figure appeared, the man in rags. "You?" the officer of the law exclaimed. "I have thought about you every day for 100 years. I never meant to harm you. Please forgive me." "You don't understand," said the man in rags. "You don't know who I am, do you? I am the angel who was sent 100 years ago to harvest your soul. But when I looked at you, so pompous and proud, there was nothing there to be harvested. An empty uniform was all I saw. So I put upon you the curse of blessing, and now look what you've become." The officer of the law grasped in an instant all that had happened and why. Overwhelmed, he said, "I feel blessed, dear God, that you have kept me alive and sustained me so I could attain this moment of insight. שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Now, look what you've done, the man in rags said in frustration. A new blessing. Life flowed back into the officer of the law, and the man in the rags. And the man in the rags looked, and he and the man in the rags looked to each other, neither of them knowing quite what to do. Chaverim, may this wonderful story by Chefitz inspire us to find blessing in a darkened time. May you find strength in those who surround you, and may you given many, many more days of blessings, many, many more years of blessings. Wish you all Chag Pesach Sameach. Have a wonderful conclusion of Pesach. On Tuesday and Wednesday we will have an Erev Pesach 7th day festival service on Tuesday the 14th at 1800, and on Wednesday morning. Please stay tuned to our website and Facebook and YouTube page for more details. Chag Sameach Moadim L'Simcha.